All right, welcome to the recap for turns 37 and 38. Got too excited, so I did 2 turns at once. This is my Age of Wonders 3 Draconian Necromancer strategy series. So turn 37, they keep offering to join, but I don't necessarily need them because I'm not going to build up infrastructure. I'd rather they keep offering me quests. Let's look at some of the battles. Took my ragtag unit, was able to take out these guys. It would have been lovely to be able to bring that Wraith to my side, but I don't have any units capable of doing that. Took this stack out of a dungeon. Again, no way to ghoul, unfortunately, with that army. Over here, using my Deathbringer, was able to ghoul a priest. And again, I love the support units because then they can heal undead when they join your side. You can see I've already got 2, and actually 3. That's a nice thing about the Matriarch, is they're categorized as support. So we've got a lot of folks in here that can do a lot of healing in between each turns and during battles. It's really, really handy. Took over this city. This might be interesting since there's some heroes in play here. I think, so there's a sorceress and a necromancer. So one of the ways I messed up in this battle is you can ghoul enemy heroes, which is really amazing. And I think you might be able to greater reanimate undead enemy heroes as well, but you have to be mindful of who their leader is and whether one of the heroes you're fighting is a leader, because the leaders go to go to the nether or whatever, right, when they die, and they come back in 3 turns. The void, that's what I mean. Let's slow this down. So I thought I was going to be able to ghoul this guy, but he's their leader. So I wasted all this kind of prep, hoping to ghoul somebody that couldn't be ghouled. So be mindful of that. Go after heroes that are not leaders if you want to try and ghoul living units. And certainly if you're in such a position and you have a Dread Reaper at gold rank, Dread Reapers they have the necromantic aura, which can bring undead units, including undead enemy heroes that are not leaders, to your side. But that will be a more rare case. It'll be more common. I mean, you can usually recruit a couple of heroes through ghouling every time you play a map. So you can see I'm just beating them up pretty easily. I was able to greater reanimate that. A Goblin Reanimator, only 2 channels of range damage, but still better than nothing. They can help with the heals. So just pretty easy to take them out. Grating webbing touch is a really nice effect when you have it. Makes completing battles much easier. And you can also try and ghoul settlers. So occasionally when you do a siege battle, you'll be able to take over a settler. Now in this case, it's already a ghouled goblin settler, so it's not living. I can't ghoul curse it, but a lot of times I'll be able to pick up free settlers and settle a city that way. But since this is an enemy necromancer, the kind of situation was a bit different. So, yeah, interesting to finally meet some heroes, but pretty easy to do. Let's come on back, turn 37. Okay, what are we about here? Okay, so just some low-key units. I really hate how it makes you scroll down. A lot of items arriving, I think, from forging and beating certain things, picking up items from fallen heroes and stuff like that. Okay, minor stuff. Was pretty sloppy with this ragtag troop, so lost a bunch of them, which is okay because I'm just cobbling them together from other sources. Yep, low-key battle there. Low-key. And low-key, so just exploring the terrain. Bunch of items arrived. I think it's time that we check out what our heroes have. So let's see, that was turn 37. So you're able to see with the Whispers of the Fallen when enemies win battles near you, so I was keeping tabs on what they were doing nearby. A bunch of items arrived at the start of turn 38. Let's see, turn 38. Is this interesting? So I took out this city. I think that was pretty easy. They had plenty of ranged units, but I mean, I have very strong units. What else did we do? Okay, minor cleanup. Now I've got 3 Dread Reapers that I've summoned. And again, they generally have the greater life drain, which is, it's unbelievable. It's amazing. What else? What else? Minor underground battle. Easy battle there. And again, a lot of these armies are so high leveled at this point that you don't really have to worry about much, which is nice because you can start to auto-calculate battles. That battle looks familiar for some reason. What else? We saw that. We saw that. Heroes leveling up. We talked about that. Just took out that 1 unit. Yeah, okay. So my ragtag army is getting pretty leveled at this point. Was able to take out this. It looks like Sphinx Temple enemies, but maybe it was a ziggurat. Not sure. But yeah, so no battles worth spending a lot of time on. Where are we at with exploration? So exploring, seeing cities around here that I'm going to take over. So again, you want to explore with those cadavers. These guys are going to take this out and head this way. So this, let's see, Champion 1, Champion 3 already, Champion 1, Champion 3 already, level 8. So getting respectable as a rogue. So a second good rogue. So that's what's happening underground. Bringing this stack because I want to take these guys out because being able to produce dragons would be great, but it takes a long time to get them up to speed, so it's more of a long-term investment, but I know I want to take them out for sure. Trying to assemble a force here so I can keep this locked down and expand this way, so I'm working on that. Lots of support units around here, so even though they don't have a hero, I've got 2 stacks that are turning into something decent. Spotting them out. Exploration, we pop upstairs here. So I've taken this and I'm thinking about what to do because it'd be nice to go into the corner and then down, using this guy to explore. And so I'm seeing more opponents, trying to be mindful of where my boundaries are. So big stack here, and this guy's finally King Shock Serpent, which is great. You can see I'm setting my flying units. Great, dealing with this mountains and stuff. So I'm looking to take out these folks. It's kind of interesting mix, all this dragon stuff going on. But I do want to take out these folks, and so I'm making sure I amass enough to do that without hero intervention. Again, I wish I had more builders with my units, but stuff like Heart of the Volcano, really great for pumping up the casting points. But coming down here to clean this out. Yeah, so that's kind of what the Borderlands are looking like. It's about time to look at what our heroes have in terms of itemage. You can see some observatories, usually to not for the research stuff, because I'm towards the end of my tech tree anyways in what I'm getting, and I've gotten all my important techs, so I don't need to get more knowledge accrual, really, and clearing out all those Sphinx temples really accelerated my research this game, but mostly for adding extra zone of control so that I can bring some additional structures in for monetary purposes. So I'm not hemorrhaging 150, I'm only hemorrhaging 50 now, which is good. So again, some places, oh yeah. So I'm starting to produce the life steal or life drain weapons, which are really fun. To give a hero life drain, and if you give it to a hero who has other stacks of lifesteal for some reason, then they get greater life drain between this and that, and it's just amazing on tanky heroes to keep them perpetually alive. Yep, I'm starting to produce tireless boots here. And so that's so that if you have really tanky rogues or warlords, and to a lesser extent necromancers, but definitely warlords and rogues that are really tanky, and you put a life drain item on them, and they have high armor, and they have high resistances, and then you put tireless boots on them, and it means that they can retaliate more than 3 times. So you just use Shadow Step or whatever and throw them in a siege over the wall, tuck them in a corner, and then they can have multiple stacks attacking them simultaneously. And as long as they're in defense, they will never get flanked, and they will keep retaliating. And every time they retaliate, they get 9 to 12 life back through the greater life drain. And it's just they're unbeatable. So you can see them using my guide to build certain things that will make for really tanky people. Speaking of which, let's check out our heroes. Oh, and a quick peek at the armies. You can kind of see I got units that are just either scouting or being moved to join with other armies, and then you can see what my heroes are with. So whenever it's a non-necromancer, I try and pair them with a Deathbringer if one's around. It's really lovely to have a Spider Queen of some kind in the group because they can web and then you can choose experience. If you don't have juicier units, Banshee is a really great option because they do spirit damage, which when you're a bunch of necromancer units and you're heavy on cold and blight, spirit is good to round out. It's always great to have a reanimator to help raise cadavers, to help heal. It's nice to have a second support unit if you can. So in this army, you can see it's kind of a mix. I've got usually one cadaver paired with a reanimator. Happen to have another ranged. There's a Banshee, and here's a tank unit. It's good to have one tank unit for sure. So you can just kind of see my mix. All flying stack, random stack of really powerful units, random stack of really powerful units, flying units. You get the picture. All right. Where are we at? So 17 defense, 12 resistance. So you can see that +3 melee strength, and that's really the only interesting thing about that. Resistance, 20% physical protection is great. I'd swap it out sometimes for strong will plus armored, which is a unit is a type of item I like to craft, but only if. So in this case, if you're not facing opponents who have spirit weakness doesn't matter, right? But if I was, then I would swap this in. But otherwise, the physical protection is really great. A little bit of defense there, a little bit of resistance from that. The fire protection is amazing for any undead hero. So the sun shield's a really nice shield. +10 hit points is always solid. You can see this is on the way, so I'm going to swap it out for this to reduce upkeep on the units. I want a Dread Spider egg, which will be nice. I believe that brings life stealing, which would pair really nice with a life drain sword that I intend to eventually send. Tireless boots are on their way to swap out with this. Oh yeah, that's how he was able to do the webbing touch. It's good if you don't have better unit items, but not so much. This is great if you're going to be facing undead stuff, but otherwise the physical protection is better. So it's starting to come together, and so you can see the blight protection, frost protection from undead, this from the shield. This is not so great. This is always nice, but maybe we can make it even more. Who else? Draconian Necromancer, 14 and 11. Again, your Necros will tend to be weaker, but we've got all the standard stuff. Invoke Death is around. Oh yeah, we should, before I go to him, talk about what abilities. So Sprint, Assassin Strike, Charm, which honestly I don't use that much because I'm ghouling units. Shadow Step, Webbing Touch from this item. Some diverse range attack damage that I can do. What else? Stronger than Steel, First Strike, Poison Knowledge, Projectile Resistance, Weapon Finesse, Inflict Crippling Wounds for the movement slowdown. Total Awareness, I think that costs 10, it's really great. And so Total Awareness paired with Boots means you can go in and attack, and you don't have to guard, because the Total Awareness means you'll never get flanked. So, really nice. Armor Piercing. Yep, that's it for them. Pretty decent if they happen to have armor on. +5 is pretty good. Already got this on them to make the army cheaper. Already got this for the spirit protection. This is temporary. The fire protection from fell horses and that sort of stuff is good. A little bit of extra hit points. Regeneration does nothing for us. Dazzled, if you don't have something better, is fine, because then you can dazzle opponents. Got another sun shield here. So you can see I'm at 100. 20, and again the frost weakness from the Draconian a little bit, but I'm already at fire protection between the sun shield and the fell horse, and then the protection from light, which is 20%. That I'm at 120%. I didn't even need like the protection from light, for example. But being fire protected and spirit protected as an undead, the two things you're weak on, amazing, right? I mean, he's completely immune to 3 of the channels of damage. Right, so it's just really nice by items and being smart with stuff that you have that you can create these resistances, because it's just going to make you a super scary opponent. One of my favorite units, again, got another +3, real beefy shield, extra hit points and vision range and resistance, decent. Talked about that. This is an amazing, I picked this up from some site, but oh my goodness, one of the best torso items. I mean, look at all those resistances across the channels, plus the defense. So I'm going to build this guy into a completely immune person to everything. Not physical, of course, because it's extremely hard to pull off, but it's going to happen. So, for example, if we go down, so Blight Protection, they're Lich King Undead, so of course 100% this. So the Undead plus being undead from 40%, and this for the 60%, 100%. Fire protection, way too much fire protection already between the 60%. I guess I visited a shrine, so that's boosting it a little bit. But between the 60% and this 40%, I'm at 100% on fire. With this strong will, the warlord can have him in his entire stack have strong will, so that's automatically 100% spirit protection. Again, the reason why I love warlord. And shock protection, this is hard to get resistances against, and in part because you don't really face a lot of enemies who have this, but I'm already at 80%. I'm so close. So Blight, Frost, Fire, Spirit, completely immune. I'm only 20% away from complete immunity on shock protection. And then besides, physical protection, that means I don't even need resistance, because I'd be completely immune to all channels. So again, being smart with your items and with what race and class of heroes you're recruiting, you can create insanely powerful. I mean, look at the defense on this. So all these resistances and this defense, what are they going to do? What else? Range command, defense command, martial arts, melee command, first strike, Blood Brothers for the strong will, overwhelm, tireless, and then this is again doesn't need tireless boots because you can get the upgrade. So instead of tireless boots, you can have some other thing. Bringer of Goodwill from that, from an item. Yep. So that's them. It's fun. So there's my other Necromancer. So 18 and 12, so a little bit stronger than my leader hero. Similar abilities. Got the Bane Fire from that one, which is nice. Lifesteal level up. We already know about all that. The energy drain we've talked about before. Bane of the Good for animals mostly. Static shield from this, which is really nice. To have people be shocked in place is really great. Lucky from this can be really great. The inflaming fever and the exhausting fatigue, between this and all the other status effect procs that I have, this guy just puts people, it just demoralizes them and lowers their resistance and armor, and it's just, and morale, it's just incredible. With having this item on a Necromancer with all these other debuffs, crazy town. What other items are novel? This Blight weakness is okay because it's paired with the Boar. I think I talked about that before. This I'll put on if I'm going to do a hard battle. Otherwise, I keep the Bringer of Goodwill stuff on there. This was a mistake. I need to send that to somebody else. So, and the three channels of damage there. So, pretty respectable for Necromancer. And then this is, from here on out, all the other heroes I'm less interested in. But so it's kind of lower stuff, sending them a bunch of good stuff. And this is just kind of whatever stuff. It's good for healing, though. Oh, yeah. This, I don't know if we had talked about this in previous thing. Resurgence. So if you're a Necromancer, you don't need this item because you have Undying, right? So don't double dip. But put this on one of your other heroes so that they'll resurge at the end of combat. You can be a little looser with them. You can do a glass cannon build, which is a lot of fun if you have this item on them. And just been doing standard rogue things. You can check out my guide to see the stuff that I recommend people getting. So, yep, so a bit longer because I went through items. I won't do that for several more turns. We'll do that only periodically, but that's turns 37 and 38, I believe. So see you for turn 39.